What's up YouTube? Killer Chemist here with an unboxing and review video of the APX-01 Carbine kit for the AAP-01 gas blowback pistol by SRU Precision. Now this is a 3D printed carbine kit retailing for $150, but as of right now I was only able to get it directly from SRU Precision, which shipped from Hong Kong to the US for $50. So this ended up costing me $200 out the door with the compensator and everything. Included in the box is a catalog, some warning info, as well as a QR code to access a step-by-step assembly tutorial. If you do want to see how to assemble the kit to ensure this product is right for you, I will demonstrate a full step-by-step assembly after the review. So right out of the box, this thing feels very rigid and sturdy. That being said, I got to say I was very disappointed by just how 3D printed it looked. From 5 feet away, I would say you can't really even tell that this is a 3D printed carbine. However, up close, the ridges were very noticeable, and some sections look worse than others. What's worse is that there were some plastic strands that needed to be dusted off from the printing process. For $200, I was hoping for something that had a little more of a finished feel to it. The 3D printed texture aside though, this kit quickly grew on me, and after using it on the field for a day, I can tell you when you're on the field, you don't even notice that this is a 3D printed gun because of how sturdy and great it feels to shoot. The charging handle was very satisfying to operate on the field as well as the stock, and neither of these ever interfered with the performance of the gun. As you can see, all the sections fit together very tight without any wiggle room. It was pretty difficult to even get things to fully fit together the first couple times I assembled it, which is actually really good. Now another big con to this gun is you really can't install a tracer unit without removing the handguard. Here I struggle to see if I could make it work without having to remove it, with no luck. I have a 150mm extended inner barrel, which is covered up by an extended outer barrel, and the barrel still doesn't come anywhere near the end of the handguard, which means I have to remove 3 screws to take it off. And with the 150mm barrel on my AAP-01, it's already shooting at 360 FPS, so you really don't want to go too much longer for most fields, but you could theoretically put on a longer outer barrel paired with the right length tracer to be able to screw it on without taking off the handguard. It can be done, but for me I will be stuck removing the handguard, which is a bit annoying. But here you can see it cleanly fits the Ace-Tech Lighter R and the Ace-Tech Lighter S tracer units no problem, and SRU advertises the Ace-Tech Blaster fitting in the handguard as well, so I would like to figure out the perfect length barrel and tracer to use, but with the compensator you only have a narrow window to be able to both screw on your tracer and mount your compensator. Also, the compensator is held in place by a pin, which means you need to bring a punch with you to get it out as it's really tight. Now, you could always skip the compensator altogether and just leave the end open, or have the tracer unit or suppressor of your choice sticking out. There are definitely a lot of options here. SRU also has 2 other compensators to choose from to achieve whatever look you are going for. And if you're not using a tracer or a suppressor, it really isn't an issue at all. Another important feature to consider is the magwell that allows you to store an extra magazine. This just holds the mags in place with friction, and there is not a mag release button. In the instructions, they tell you to sand the paint off your magazine to get it to fit properly. Of course, I wasn't willing to do that straight away, so the magwell ends up holding onto your mags insanely tight, to the point that you have to get a crazy grip on the gun to even be able to remove them. You definitely won't be winning any speed reloading contests with this thing out of the box. But I am hoping as time goes on it will loosen up a bit and actually make it possible to pull the mag out without having to completely change my grip on the gun. If it doesn't get any easier, I may actually consider sanding my mags down slightly. And for context, I have the standard Action Army short and extended mags, as well as the WeTech extended Glock mags, all of which get stuck in the magwell and take a tremendous amount of force to remove. So as you can see, there's pretty ridiculous amount of force required to pull these out, so at least you won't be dropping any mags in the dirt, but you're definitely going to want to figure out how to get it to retain them slightly less. So, final thoughts. I will say I was pretty disappointed with this product overall when I first unboxed it, especially after dropping $200. That being said, my entire review of this product changed after taking it to the field. This is such a solid feeling carbine kit for both CQB and long range. The stock is incredibly sturdy, and the entire gun has no wobble or play whatsoever. It completely makes you forget that you are using a pistol, and all my complaints about how 3D printed it looks up close completely disappeared. After playing with this thing, I would say it was definitely worth the price, especially when you consider how much the premium metal aftermarket parts and kits cost. For this complete package, you are definitely saving a ton of money and getting all the performance you want out of a carbine kit. The more I play with this, the more I absolutely love it. It is hard to get past the fact that someone just had to push a button to 3D print this and then sold it for $150, but they really did a great job developing this design. This kit is just so comfortable and practical, and the M-LOK handguard and full Picatinny rail has plenty of room for any attachments under the sun. The charging handle is a fantastic addition to this gun. And if you are using the stock hop-up like I am, you can change your hop-up on the fly without needing to disassemble the gun. Now, I will say if you do need to remove your lower for your aftermarket hop-up, you just have to remove the trigger guard in order to take off the lower, which only requires popping out one pin that can easily be done with any hard pointy tool like a screwdriver or an Allen key. Overall, if you like the way this thing looks and you don't want to pay hundreds of extra dollars getting proper metal handguards and stocks, I think this is a great option. I'm extremely satisfied with this purchase, and as long as you know what you're getting for $200, I don't think you'll be disappointed at all. And eventually, popular retailers in your area will start carrying these kits and offer free shipping, thereby reducing the cost closer to the $150 MSRP. The most popular airsoft retailers already carry other products from SRU Precision, so it's only a matter of time until these are easier and cheaper to obtain. So if you're interested in how to install this kit, then keep watching for a step-by-step guide. So to get started with this installation, remove any rails you might have attached as well as the front sight. All these screws will require a Metrix hex key ranging from 1.5 millimeters to about 6 millimeters, so your standard Allen wrench set should work fine. Next, you are going to punch out the pin holding the trigger guard. You can also use a hard pointing tool, but out of the box, all the pins here are pretty tight, and I would recommend having a cheap punch set on hand to get these pins out. At least the first few times you remove them, as they do get a bit easier to remove the more you assemble and disassemble this kit. Punches can be $5 to $10 on Amazon. You really don't need anything high quality for this. Next, we will need to remove the pin holding in the stock's locking mechanism. Now this isn't required to get your pistol in the kit, but in order to remove the compensator, you'll need to knock out this smaller pin. You can see there's a lot of room in the compensator to actually house a longer tracer unit, so it will actually be able to go in there a good inch or so. Next, you want to screw on the charging bolt clip. It just slides into place and screws into the back of the bolt, and this will allow your charging handle to function. Now you are ready to slide your pistol in just like this. Push it all the way forward until it locks in tight. Then it's just 3 screws to secure it in place. And before I screw everything else in, I like to ensure that my charging handle is working properly. Make sure nothing's catching or anything weird's going on. Now keep in mind that this last screw is a bit deeper, so you will need a sufficiently long screwdriver to reach. As you can see, I had to go find something longer and skinnier. Now, with everything in place, you can choose to put on your trigger guard now, but if you have to remove the lower to adjust your hop up, I would save this step for last until after you have adjusted your hop. And now you can also put the locking mechanism back in your stock. Now, in order to get your handguard on, there are just 3 screws. Just keep in mind that the bottom screw is a different length than the top screw, so be sure to put them back accordingly. When sliding the handguard on for the first time, it can be very difficult. I initially tried to force it on and I was worried that I was going to snap something. So I just put the handguard on as far as it will go and then pull it back out and repeat until it fully set into place. The 3D printing was just a little tight and needed to be worn in a bit. No sanding or anything crazy was needed to get this to go on. Get your screws put back on, make sure you have your hex nuts in place. Also, this is the step that you're going to need to remove the handguard if you have a tracer unit that is too short to make it through the handguard. Then you can just slide the compensator right back in and pop the pin back in. I will say the pin was incredibly difficult to get back in, so be careful not to scratch or damage your setup. And just like that, you're all done. If you found this video helpful, please hit that like button. Consider subscribing to the channel for future videos. I will have more teching videos as well as airsoft gameplay coming soon.